kotloloho ho tswa Studio 10 Auckland Park, Johannesburg. Re utlisetsa ditaba tse phethelang selemo ka puo ya Sesotho seo re di thakgolang ka ho lekola tse ihlomeng pele.
My fellow South Africans, as we prepare to enter the new year, we look back on 2024 as a year of change and progress. We marked 30 years.
Mopresidente Cyril Ramaphosa o phatlaladitse selemo sa 2024 e le sa diphetoho le kgatelopele molaetseng wa hae wa selemo se setjha.
Ditaba Msimanga mo Kimberley mo provinseng ya Northern Cape mo lefelong la boitapoloso le le bidiwang House 75 bomma menatenate le borra menatenate ba mo lefelong leno go kgaoganya ngwaga ba re ba itimelela gore ba sireletsegile go fitlhela mo nakong eno go utlwa tse le tse dingwe mo nakong e sa fediseng pelo. Moifo o boetse o hlophiseditse tse mothangwana re ya o amohela ke tsamaya mmoho le Agustin Letlalo ha re wele kgabong. Mopresidente Cyril Ramaphosa o phatlaladitse selemo sa 2024 e le sa diphetoho le kgatelopele o re le ha ho ena le kgatelopele e seng e kgathilwe ho sa le ho ngata ho lokelang ho etswa o buile sena molaetseng wa hae wa selemo se setjha ha jwale re fetela molaetseng ona wa mopresidente Ramaphosa.
My fellow South Africans, as we prepare to enter the new year, we look back on 2024 as a year of change and progress. We marked 30 years since becoming a free and democratic nation on the 27th of April 1994. We celebrated the progress made in building a society founded on the ideals of freedom, equality, and human rights. On the 29th of May 2024, we held our 7th democratic elections peacefully and freely. As the people of South Africa voted for the representatives of their choice, they gave voice to their concerns, their aspirations, and their expectations. Our people, through their votes, called on political parties to put their differences aside and to work together to put South Africa first. As elected public representatives and acting on the outcomes of the elections that gave no single party an outright majority to govern South Africa on its own, we heeded the clear message from our people. We established a government of national unity, bringing together parties from across the political spectrum. This government of national unity, GNU, made up of 10 political parties, committed through the statement of intent it adopted to grow an inclusive economy and to create jobs. The GNU has committed itself to reduce poverty and to lower the cost of living. The parties are all working to strengthen the capacity of the state and to deliver services to our people. The outcomes of the May 2024 elections and the establishment of the Government of National Unity have really enabled South Africa to enter a new era that holds great promise. Our economy is slowly but steadily improving. More South Africans are finding jobs. Inflation has been falling, making essential goods more affordable for households. In 2024, South Africa achieved its very first primary budget surplus in 15 years. Public sector investment has risen for another straight year. There is increased investment in roads, in rail, public housing, energy, water and sanitation infrastructure. Business confidence to enhance investment is on the rise. International investor sentiment towards South Africa has improved, with more companies seeking to invest or expand their presence in our economy. As this happens, more jobs will be created, more livelihoods will be supported, and more local businesses will be sustained. The far-reaching economic reforms we started in the 6th administration are beginning to show results. We are emerging from a debilitating energy crisis that caused immense hardships for our people, households, and businesses. The country has now gone for 280 days without load shedding. We continue the work to get more power onto the grid, to drive massive new investment in electricity generation, and to establish a more competitive electricity market. Our logistics sector, which is critical to the functioning of our economy, has shown notable improvement following the corrective initiatives that we embarked upon in partnership with business, Labour and Transnet. Our ports have reduced long delays in handling imports and exports, and rail freight is flowing more efficiently. This will encourage greater investment and make them more efficient. Through the partnership between government and business, and through the ongoing cooperation with social partners, including Labour, we are making real progress in removing the obstacles to faster growth and job creation. This has been a year in which we have intensified the fight against crime. Through the focused execution of Operation Shanela, Operation Vala Umgodi, as well as operations against the construction mafia, our law enforcement agencies are decisively dealing with organized crime. They're also dealing with illegal mining, extortion at construction sites, and other priority crimes. As a society, we have continued to focus our attention on the fight against gender-based violence and femicide. We have strengthened the capabilities of the criminal justice system and improved support for survivors of gender-based violence. However, our primary focus must remain on the prevention of gender-based violence against young girls and the women of our country. Working with civil society and other partners across our society, we continue to call upon men and boys to stand at the forefront of changing attitudes and behavior towards the girls and the women of our country. We continue to intensify the fight against corruption and state capture. The Investigating Directorate, which has now been established as a permanent entity in the National Prosecuting Agency, the NPA, currently has a number of corruption cases in court and has charged several accused individuals. In this 30th year of our democracy, we've taken further steps to advance our constitutional mandate of upholding equality, human rights, and social justice. We signed into law transformative legislation like the National Health Insurance Act and the Basic Education Laws Amendment Act. The implementation of these laws will provide greater access for all South Africans to decent health care and quality education. Just as we attained our freedom through the support and solidarity of many peoples and nations around the world, we continue to stand in solidarity with the victims of injustice in other parts of the world. We have stood firm in our support for the struggle of the people of Palestine. as the conflict in the Middle East continues, as genocide is perpetrated against the people of Gaza, and as Israeli hostages remain in captivity, we continue to call for the cessation of hostilities and the release of hostages. South Africa's sportsmen and women have done our country proud in the sporting field as they have flown the South African flag high in various parts of the world. We are grateful to the athletes who brought us glory at this year's Olympic and Paralympic Games in Paris. We are proud of our nation's artists who hoisted our flag high on the global stage. We congratulate the nation's pioneering artists, filmmakers, writers, and cultural workers who have excelled in their respective fields, achieving awards both here at home and abroad. This has been a year of triumphs and great progress, but it has also been a year marked by tragedy. The deaths of innocent young children in Soweto and other parts of the country who lost their lives earlier this year from eating contaminated foodstuffs pains our nation. We reiterate our condolences to the families of the children who passed on. We remember the many lives that are senselessly lost to violence every day. We are deeply saddened by the negligent and unnecessary recent deaths of young men at initiation schools in the Eastern Cape. Our thoughts are with the families that have been left destitute in the Western Cape after devastating shack fires destroyed their homes and belongings. As individuals and as communities, we must lend our every effort to helping those affected by these terrible events. We will work with our law enforcement agencies to ensure that our children are kept safe. We will continue to make the streets of our country safe. As another year draws to a close, we pay tribute to all those who continue to serve our country. We thank our nation's educators who support, nurture, and guide our learners in the quest for better education. We thank our men and women in uniform for keeping us safe at great sacrifice to their own lives. We thank our doctors, our nurses, our paramedics, and other health workers, and all frontline personnel who respond to people in their greatest need. We also thank the nation's dedicated public servants and all other South Africans who continue to perform their duties with diligence, excellence, and integrity. Fellow South Africans, as much as we have made progress, we have to do much more to overcome the challenges that confront our nation. We need to work with urgency and purpose to grow an inclusive economy and create jobs. We need to support our municipalities to ensure that all our people receive quality services without exception and without disruption. In particular, we need to continue to work together to address the severe water supply challenges that have affected various parts of the country. As a people, our unity, determination, and resilience has seen us through hard and difficult times. Just as this has been a year of great change, we look to the next year with great hope. We will be embarking on a national dialogue, bringing all South Africans together to develop a common vision for the country. In 2025, we will be hosting the very first G20 summit on African soil. Through our leadership of the G20, we will work for solidarity, equality, and sustainable development that will have an impact on many peoples around the world in various countries. As we embark on a new year, I call on each and every South African to be part of the journey towards a better future for all. I wish you all a peaceful and prosperous new year in 2025. May God continue to bless South Africa and protect her people. I thank you all.
Moi re boetse re o amohela mokgatlo wa twantsho ya tshotlo ya diphoofolo SPCA o se holotse ka bohale ho qhumiswa ha ditlabore nakong ya mekete ya kamohelo ya selemo se setjha.
I would implore people not to use fireworks. I understand that it's a time for celebration and fireworks can give that joyous and festive feeling, but fireworks can be very detrimental and harmful to our domestic animals, but also our wild animals. So, biggest and most important thing that the NSPCA recommends is not to use fireworks. If you suspect people are going to use fireworks in your area, the best thing is to keep your dogs indoors, your dogs and your cats, and if possible to stay at home with them, because if they are scared, they will need a lot of comforting.
Molaetseng wa hae mopresidente o boletse ha mmuso o tla etsa bonnete ba hore maAfrika Borwa a phela ka polokeo. Jwale re fetela Northern Cape ho moqolotsi wa rona wa ditaba Ditaba Msimanga a buisanang le baahi ka tabatabelo tsa bona tsa selemo se setjha nakong ena eo ba shebileng ho 2025. Tebogo re a o amohela.
Ke dumedise le babuhi ko gae re mo House 25 mo Northern Cape ko ditiragalo di leng teng batho ba itumetse ba dansa ba itumeletse gore ba tlile go bona ngwaga wa 2025 mme mo lefelong le re le mo go lone re solofetse go bona batho ba thologela ka bontsi go tla go dansa le go ja monate mme ga jana ga ke nosi ke tsamaya le Mzwandile Bekisi yo a tlileng gore tlhalosetsa gore 2024 e tsamaile jang abuti ke lebogela nako ga gore tlhalosetsa fela gore 2024 ne le ngwaga o ntseng jang o tsamaile jang
ke a leboga ausi ngwaga wa 2024 nkare ne le ngwaga o thatanyana because go ne go la le diketsagalo tsa bo GBV go na le diketsagalo tsa bo bosenyi bana ba sa retse batsadi ba bone gape le botlhoka tiro e le bone bo bo tsentseng letsogo thata
go setse dura di se kae fela gore re kgabaganyetse ko ngwageng wa mošwa wa 2025 o lebeletse eng ke eng se o ka batlang go se bona se diragala
na nka itumela thata ha nka bona gore batho ba sirelediwa gore ditiragalo tse di tshwanang ka bo GBV di se ke di a nna dintsi thata le gape ha botlhoka tiro bo fele ha batho ba tshwantse ba hiriwe ka lebaka la gore they deserve it iseng gore motho o hiriwe ka gone o direlwa favor
re mo lefelong la go dansa re ja monate wena jaaka fela motho o le abuti Mzwandile ke eng se o se itumeletseng ene o batla go bona go diragalang gape mo boselong jwa gago ha nako ntse e tswelela pele
na nka itumela hela gore ha batho ba ka simolola go itirela dilo ka bo bone ba seke ba shebela thata mo pushong gore e ba direle because pusho yone e kgona hela go baka kgotsa go create the enabling environment but batho ke bone tshwantse ba tswe le tsholo ka di talented neo tse ba na leng tsone ba itirela gore ba sa sheba pusho
ke lebogile o ikutlwetse abuti Mzwandile a tlhalosa gore tota le fa ngwaga wa 2024 o no na le dikgwetlho go na le dilo tse dintsi tse o ba itumeletseng tsone jaanong o ka ile gore mo ngwageng o tlang wa 2025 o batla go bona batho ba ikemela ba itirela gore matshelo a bone a nne botoka jaanong ke nako ya gore re boele ko studiong rona mono re tla sala re dansa
re a leboga Tebogo ho sa le jwalo ha selemo sa 2024 se phethelwa baahi ba Bloemfontein ba ikwahlaya ka diphoso tseo ba ileng ba di etsa selemong sena.
Go sekaseka ngwaga o felang le go dira ditshwetso mo go o mošwa ke sengwe se bontsi bo se dirang ka metlha ka nako eno ya ngwaga gore ba kgone go bona ngwaga o mošwa o botoka.
Ka 2024 phoso ke dirileng ke go sa dire budget ya ka nako ene ka kgonela go dira bana ba ka dilo tsene ke batla go ba direla tsone ene ke le mo dikolotong.
Wa itse mistake o go dirileng ke wa gore ke tlabe ke save-ile tšhelete ke save-etse lebaka le le itseng but after o itlhele gore ke intshitse ha ke sa dirile lebaka le le tlamehile be ke dirile ka lona.
Lorato le lone go bonala le kgoreleditse bangwe mo ngwageng wa 2024 jaaka le kgarebe leno le tlhagisa o seke wa itlhaganella go tsena mo kamanong ya lerato.
Mistake ya ka 2024 ke go ratana le ngwana o monnyane mo nna ke ne ke sa nka nako tsebana that much and then in between that go tlhagile ngwana o monnyane but ka mo rata ke mo regrete.
Tsholofelo ke gore ngwaga o mošwa o tla tlisetsa batho botlhe botshelo jo bo botoka mme nna ke lo eleletsa 2025 e itumedisang. Kamogelo Siekwi, dikgang tsa SABC, Bloemfontein.
Mekete ya boitukisetso ba kamohelo ya selemo se setjha e motjheng provinseng ya North West. Moqolotsi wa rona wa ditaba tsa SABC Sintle Englihihi o buisane le batho ba nyakaletseng ha ba ntse ba emetse ho kgaoha ha selemo.
Ba janala ka bontsi ba thologetse mono Sun City ba libile go keteka ngwaga o helang ono wa 2024 ba amogela 2025 re bone ile gore ba goregile ha ile gore ba tsile ka malapa a bone ba tsile le ditsala jaaka o itse gore Sun City gompieno jana ena le meletlo e farologaneng go simologa ka kwano mo Sun Park ka kwano go na le moletlo e leng gore o eteletswe pele ke ka tshwaragano le ba SABC ka Metro FM mme re litile gape go bona gore kgante le go tla nna le keteko gape ko beaching ya teng re tla bona batho ba diragatsa ba itumetse jalo mme ga jana re amogetswe or re joinilwe ke ba bang ba ba tsileng go keteka ka kwano ba tla gore tlhalosetsa tota gore ba tla gopolang ka 2024 le gore 2025 what is to look forward to. Tell us your name and what brings you here 2025 2024 what is it all about?
Okay, my name is Mbalentle Pila and I'm from Pretoria. So Kitlohakili Pretoria with my partner all the way from Imagine. Now we're traveling from Pretoria just to celebrate in Rustenburg, which is something that is different, totally different. And we're quite enjoying the environment and it's a different kind of an environment, different people. So what we're looking forward to in 2025, it's more growth, more opportunities for ourselves as individuals and as a couple. And of which most of us ke tla ifitisetsa mo go yena because of nna
ngwana mma go tshepilo wena re tlhalosetse ka leleme la rona gore tota wa bo motsisitse kwano o re tlhaloseditse gore ke mosetsana wa moZulu o tlo go mmontsha bontle bo re nang le bone bo bokone bophirima le wena o tswa kgakala jwa Limpopo re tlhalosetseng kgonne gore tota le keteka yang 2024 le amogela yang 2025 le babedi jana.
Oh yeah, ke thabo ne the Victor the Dark Horse ya ke tlile le molekane wa ka mona re tswa ka mo Pretoria ka mona ngwagona ke khonne o ikira le tsobana la ka le rato modimo khonong hawela ampha a soulmate ke ntwe ke appreciate am for this year and then for ngwago latelang re tswela pele ke ngwago le ngore tsa tšhelete lenyalo so tletse pila tse le ngore modimo tlo re shogofatsa ka moka tsona ra di receive
ra le lebogela ba gaetsho le ikutlwetse ke lona bao ba re tatahela mo 2025 re solofele lenyalo go tswa hano ha Sun City ra re ba gaetsho masego le matlhogonolo
Ke tsona tseno mme re amohela molaetsa ho tswa ho moifo wa ditaba tsa Sesotho.
wa ditaba tsa Sesotho re nke monyetla ona ho lebohela tshehetso ya hao selemong sena sa 2024 re o lakaletsa katleho le mahlohonolo selemong sa 2025 ho fihlela re tena hape selemong se setjha re happy
Ga o be jalo Katlego le mahlonolo a selemo se setjha mme ho latela Bolipi. Kgotso.